Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a short little video covering the Tripowin X0DB Vivace. This is an IEM that comes in at $29, and I think it's going to be what a lot of you guys have wanted. Anybody who's wanted an ultra budget set that's really good for a multitude of titles for competitive gaming purposes, the Vivace will definitely suit your needs. The set will be coming in at around a B to a B minus, but I do think that it should be one step below the Kiwi AE, and I'll get into a little bit of why, but a really, really good set and one that will be on the wallhack certification tier list, and I think probably the highest rating on the list at $29. The set is really good. I can't emphasize that enough for competitive gaming purposes, and there's just a few areas, again, that I'll get into in a second. To get you guys a look at the IEM, it does have a nice, refined, kind of classy look to it. You've got this two-tone, you've got the black plastic shell here, mixed with the see-through faceplate that does below it have that metallic silver. A really nice look to it, and it is an IEM that is on the smaller side, so anybody who had some fit issues with something like, let's say, the Truth or Critical Zero, the nozzle is on the thinner and on the smaller side. Depending on your ear ergonomics, I guess you could have some fit issues here with the nozzle itself. I did not have any issues at all, and a set that's very comfortable that I could wear for 8+ hours, absolutely no issue. Lightweight, and again, very comfortable. The ear tips I did use with this set that I did notice to have a beneficial impact, I used the Astral and EarFit ASMR ear tips. Worked great with the Vivace, and again, I noticed a benefit in terms of a bit of the bloom to the bass and maybe a little bit of the treble region as well, a little bit of the heat. Now, the Vivace, I'll show you guys a tuning here, is very close to the Kiwi AE. It's a V-shaped tuning, one that feels very warm. It has a nice balance to it in terms of its overall tonality, with the mid still feeling in your face, very palpable, very audible compared to this boosted sub bass. But the sub bass is definitely something that feels very energetic, dives deep, and has substance and quantity to it that will give you that energetic feel for your music listening experience. If you're somebody who likes some Sublime, Red Hot Chili Peppers, bass guitar sounds absolutely fantastic on this set. Male vocals, and both those sounded fantastic. Vocals coming through in rap tracks as well really nicely, if that's what you're into. I did notice in a few tracks the sub bass can overshadow the mid bass a little bit, and maybe a little bit into the mids as well, depending on the track and how heavy the sub bass is. But I didn't find it being much of an issue at all, and the treble region had decent extension, a decent sense of air, again, in music as well as gaming. Something that doesn't feel as wide or as deep in terms of soundstage compared to the Kiwi AE, but I just didn't have any issue in terms of sibilance or harshness in the treble region. I do feel that some tracks, vocals sounded off a little bit, but overall, I think things coming to and culminating together to provide a nice V-shaped sound signature, and again at $30, one sounding quite energetic in that sub bass region if a lot of you guys are looking for that impact in your music listening. Now, to show you guys a little bit of the unboxing experience, there's not a whole lot here, which is totally acceptable at the price point. You get a lot of silicone ear tips in different sizes, and then you do also get a black cable here, 2-pin cable. It is something that I would say is probably along like the quality of what we see on the Truth or Critical Zero. Anybody that is used to that unboxing experience. But overall, at $30, again, a good enough package. The difference in gaming that I noticed with the ear tip change, the gunfire and Apex not feeling quite as hot, quite as conjoined together. It just becomes separated out a little bit, making it feel less occlusive as I'm cracking somebody's armor, as I'm shooting somebody and I have somebody sliding into me or next to me. The imaging on the set for Apex Legends is great. Depth perception is there. Verticality sounded fantastic, all at a price point, again, of $30. But compared to the Kiwi AE, you will notice that sub bass and mid bass do cause a little bit of occlusion, and some of the light taps, light shuffles, climbs, slides, etc., shield cells, revives coming through a little bit less. Battle Royales are innately more difficult than tag shooters. There's just more going on, and being able to shave off excess of volume of sub-bass, mid-bass, or gunfire being too harsh, being able to hear the lighter footsteps and taps with greater technicality or more information when I need it is really what I'm looking for between two different sets. And that's the biggest difference here with the Kiwi Delci AE and the Vivace. There's just a little bit more bloom and a little bit more deer in the headlights at times on the Vivace, but still a really good set. But being able to turn before I'm taking too much damage, micromanaging my health, it's very important. And that's really what some of these sets boil down to, is that separation, layering, and imaging, not getting caught off guard. So that is why the Kiwi Delci AE will remain a grade above the Tripowin Vivace for Apex Legends, but a really good set, one that has decent enough separation, layering, great imaging and depth perception, and again, verticality sounding great. So Apex Legends, it definitely gets a pass and on the wallhack certified tier list. Again, $30, great set and comfortable. Now, moving into Valorant, one of the things that I noticed was initially in Deathmatch, the imaging sounded great. I almost felt this holographic sense of this tingle, the little scratch or crawl as somebody's getting closer and closer, inching out from behind a wall. And that's exactly what you want. Really good imaging that gives you that sense of somebody moving closer, closer, closer in terms of the depth within the space. This set definitely provides that, and it sounded great. Getting that precise urgency of when somebody's about to peek, when somebody's about to come from behind a wall, it sounded great. Getting into like my gunfire and deathmatch, I didn't find anything to be occlusive in terms of separation or layering issues if I'm shooting a Vandal, Operator, Sheriff, etc. But getting into 5v5s, one of the issues I found that like when my teammates were shooting Guardians, Sheriffs, Operators next to me, and there's some more footsteps going on, that's when it becomes a little bit less refined than the Kiwi Delci AE, making, again, separation and layering take a little bit of an impactful hit in comparison. Moving into Call of Duty, one of the things that I noticed was the soundscape, again, sounding quite good like Apex Legends. The imaging, the depth perception, verticality, people above me, below me, getting that sense of depth in that 360 bubble was great. Now, I didn't find airstrikes or, some of the mortar strikes, things like that happen in game, or the random sound cues and audio effects. I didn't find those to cause this sense of occlusion, which is what you want for Call of Duty Warzone, absolutely. And kicking through doors, great impact. But again, just as those things are happening, you lose out on some of those lighter slides, lighter taps, maybe people flying in the distance. You just lose out on a little bit of that in comparison to, again, something like the Kiwi Delci AE. Still both absolutely great sets, and at a third of the price of the Kiwi Delci AE, you're looking at a very good ultra budget set for gaming related purposes. I kind of like tossed and turned about putting this at the B ranking, but just A and B testing it compared to the Kiwi Delci AE, I think there should be that demarcation, and I will be putting this at a solid B-. But again, I'm going to add a little note on the wallhack certification tier list that it's really bordering into that B territory. So again, guys, I hope that helped. The next video will probably be in the opposite direction. I've got the Thea Audio Origin here. This is probably the next test for the review process. So far, sounding absolutely amazing. And again, as you go up this price ladder, maybe getting into the hybrid or different driver configurations, really what I'm looking for is refinements in those areas, right? Tag shooters are a little bit on the easier side for most IEMs, most driver configurations, because there's not always a lot going on. As long as the imaging and depth perception is great, usually you're okay. When we start moving into things like Fortnite, Warzone, things like Tarkov, etc., when there's a lot of things going on, grenades, voice lines, audio cues from the game system itself, ambient noise, third parties, fourth parties, ultimates going off, that's when things really start boiling down into shedding off these layers of excess, cutting down the fat to just give me tight, refined bass and this information read that I want. I need the details during all of this mush, all of the mashed potato. That's really what I think you get in moving up to something, let's say, like a Mangird Tea Pro. So it's some of those refinements that I think some people might not think some of these things make a difference because maybe they just play tack shooters. But keep in mind, that's really what the testing process boils down to in putting some of these things into different layers. So again, one of the main differences in comparing the Vivace to the Keyfine Delci AE, but both really great sets and both pretty close to each other. That's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope it helped. If it did, please leave a sub to the channel. See you guys in the next review. Peace.